Ok. Ouvrons cette porte. Oh, c'est le président Rockwell directement.
Well, look who it is. I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus. And I see you've brought the kid along. Babysitters may be expensive, but they're worth it, you know.
Yeah, keep talking, pal. I'll just keep thinking of a place to bury your body.
Ah, I knew I smelled Monarch when you lot walked in. The stench of sulfur, depression, and desperate bravado is unmistakable.
Keep talking, you'll be smelling iron. Ain't nobody so important I won't put a bullet in.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens.
De quelle annonce s'agit-il?
Haven't you heard? Phineas is working for us now. It took some doing, but employing an efficient management strategy of putting our guns to his head seems to have done the trick.
À d'autres, Phineas préférerait mourir plutôt que de coopérer.
Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se. Semantics, he'll come around. But that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crackpot into a working-class man. It's a miracle.
C'est de la propagande, c'est tout, hein. Ce psychopathe est en train de sauver tous les colons surgelés que vous avez abandonnés.
Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation problems. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through, but it's done. It's over. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
Are you kidding me? We're out here trying to clean up your mess.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're just getting in the way.
Vous préférerez qu'on continue à foncer tête baissée vers l'anéantissement, peut-être? Moi, je peux tout arranger.
If I and my people can ride it out in luxury and happiness, yes, I would. I don't know if you've noticed, Captain, but Halcyon's pretty much a lost cause.
Avec vos ressources et des efforts de l'espoir, nous pourrions accomplir de grandes choses.
I'll admit, there's no shortage of talent in the scientists and engineers there. Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you manage to storm the castle, as it were, and make it out of here with Phineas alive, I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive, you'll need someone to sell the rest of the board on your plan.
Are you out of your mind? Rockwell's the biggest monster in Halcyon. You got any idea how many lives he's destroyed? How many people he's hurt? I've had enough. You even think about cooperating with this animal? And you and I are finished.
Voilà, restons calmes. Votre loyauté est plus précieuse que la soumission de Rockwell.
You're damn right it is.
If you're gonna place more faith on this brat than the chairman of the fucking colony, then there's no hope for you. Go get yourself killed.
Non, ce mec-là, il est corrompu. Bon, il a pas l'air agressif. Je tente une sauvegarde. Wow, je vais mourir. Wow, il est trop fort, Rockwell. Attends, j'ai pas été avec la bonne arme. Je pensais qu'il serait super faible. Ah, c'est à jouer comme ça. Wouah, les dégâts que ça fait. Les dégâts que ça fait, c'est abusé. On n'est pas fini. Ouais, ces robots là, ils font tellement mal. Ok, on peut quand même s'infiltrer malgré le fait qu'on ait tué le président. Tout va bien. Non, le mec il a fait trop de mal et puis c'est un type, tu peux pas... En fait, tu peux... Il a le bras trop long, donc tant qu'il est en vie, pour moi, tu peux arriver à rien. Ah, Sanjar. Il y a le précurseur, il y a Sanjar. Nice, le Messi avec nous, c'est beau.
Take a breath now, folks. Once we're up there, I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
Ok.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
Nous libérerons Alcyon, et rien de ce que vous ferez ne pourra nous arrêter.
Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army?
Avec ce que je viens de voir, ouais.
The iconoclasts and MSI have put aside their differences and attacked the prison together. I never imagined such a thing would be possible. But here we are. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser. I'm going to put an end to your little rebellion, and then I'm going to have you and your associates arrested.
Alcyon est en train de changer. Le Conseil ne pourra pas nous contrôler indéfiniment.
The board is the only legitimate power in Halcyon. We are Halcyon. I admit I miscalculated the extent of your influence. The board's plan never accounted for you. This is a mistake I intend to correct. I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right.
Vous ne comprenez pas? Phineas est mon ami. Pas question que je parte sans lui.
Well, that's mostly correct. You're not leaving here at all. I wish you'd simply cooperated with me. You're the finest marksman in Halcyon. You could have been my gun.
Je vais sauver Phineas, que vous le vouliez ou non.
I had a feeling you'd say that. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Elle a pas compris. Elle a pas compris que je lâcherai jamais le morceau. Et comme elle a dit, je suis une fine gâchette grâce à mon équipe, surtout. Parce que moi, personnellement, pas trop. Ok. Et donc ici, il y a quoi? Est-ce qu'on a moyen de le reprogrammer? Après en piratage, je sais pas... Ah. Dommage. Après j'ai une arme cheatée hein. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Aïe. On y va, on a presque eu. Ouah. Aïe, il est rentré. Il manquait pas grand chose, hein. Ouais, faut jouer par rapport à son IA qui est un peu limité, quoi. Attends, ça par contre, faut le déverrouiller, ça peut me faire une seconde salle pour me replier. Allez, hop, on continue. Ouah. Au secours. J'ai rien compris. J'ai eu un problème avec mon viseur. Le problème c'est qu'il se met sur moi quoi. Et si je me mets là? Ok, ici c'est scellé. Il va me tuer là. Forcément il va me tuer. Bon, on va tenter d'aller dans la pièce plutôt que de rester coincé ici. Parce que dès qu'il rentre c'est fini en fait. Quoi? Qu'est-ce qui m'est arrivé là? Ok. Sauvegarde auto. Je peux pas? Pas de sauvegarde auto. Ok. La sauvegarde. Enfin non, sauvegarde pas mais... Oh ça y est. Oh la vache. Ça fait quoi? Ça fait 3 quarts d'heure que je suis dessus là? So, Nyoka et... Oh la vache. Ça fait véritablement beaucoup trop longtemps que que je suis dessus. Non mais là j'ai vraiment galéré pour de vrai. Hein. Ça y est, je peux sauvegarder. Oh la vache. Allez. Il était véritablement très compliqué ce combat. Allez. Tellement simple à côté. Oh la vache. Je crois que je m'en sortirais pas. Au moins c'est bien, elle lui a rien fait.
You don't know how glad I am to see you.
Oh oui, moi aussi.
You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
Est-ce que ça va? Est-ce qu'ils vous ont fait quelque chose?
I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
J'ai peur de ce que vous allez m'annoncer.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago? And the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
You're quite right. We've got no choice but to make do on our own. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Bon, on va se débrouiller avec ce qu'on a, hein. Nous avons beaucoup de travail, nous ferions mieux de nous y mettre tout de suite.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Vous pouvez compter sur moi, je vais vous aider à réanimer les autres colons.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
Bien. Je suis encore sous l'émotion du combat tout à l'heure. Hein.
That everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence further cemented Ellie's perspective. She understood she could never truly rely on others, so she set about making sure she wouldn't have to. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She enjoyed a long and infamous career running missions across the system. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with 2 hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Eh bien voilà, c'est la fin. C'est la fin du tout premier let's play que j'ai débuté sur la chaîne. Ça y est, j'ai mis quoi? J'ai mis 6 mois je crois, quelque chose comme ça. Ah, ça fait quelque chose, hein. Le tout premier let's play de la chaîne est enfin achevé. C'est beau. C'est beau. Bon, tous les choix n'étaient pas forcément les meilleurs, dans le sens où il y a eu des morts malgré tout. Mais globalement, je suis assez content de la tournure qu'ont pris les choses. Enfin, surtout n'hésitez pas, si vous voulez voir les DLC, à m'en faire part dans les commentaires, hein. Ce sera avec un immense plaisir que je les ferai. Surtout que je les connais pas du tout pour le coup, je les ai jamais fait, hein. Jamais. Ce serait une pure découverte cette fois. Oh la vache, ça fait quelque chose, hein. Enfin terminé. Bon, jeu perfectible, mais qui globalement est bon, hein. Globalement il est quand même bon, c'est un bon jeu. C'est un bon jeu. Enfin. Ah, cette musique. Tout début, je lançais des streams et il y avait la musique dans le fond. Bon, cette période-là, il y avait absolument 0 viewer à chaque fois. Que de souvenirs. Bon, allez. Eh bien, voilà. Donc du coup, voilà, j'ai ma petite sauvegarde. Donc si jamais je veux reprendre... C'est celle-ci. Si je veux reprendre pour faire les... soit pour me balader, soit pour faire les DLC, ça se passe directement ici. Donc il y a toujours cette possibilité-là. Savoir que juste du coup, comme précisé avant, mais du coup ce sera pas dans la même vidéo, tout ce que j'ai fait, en fait la toute fin du jeu, elle n'est pas comptée à partir du moment où on est sur le tartare. Il n'y a plus de retour en arrière. Là. À partir du moment où on arrive sur le tartare, en fait, ça lance la mission de fin, et puis bah, fin du jeu, en fait. Bref. Bon, bah voilà. Fin du jeu, on a terminé, ça y est. Écoutez, j'espère que ce let's play vous aura plu. Il sera passé par tous les formats qu'il y a eu depuis le début de la chaîne. Des vidéos d'1 heure, après passer par les vidéos de 30 minutes, puis 15, puis re-30, avec une petite outro à la fin, les petits tests et bugs techniques, parfois le micro qui se coupait, le son du micro qui n'était pas assez fort, trop fort. Ce let's play est passé par absolument toutes les phases. Ça ressemble à rien. Certains m'ont même dit que je devrais peut-être l'annuler et peut-être en refaire un plus tard, j'en sais rien. C'est ce genre de choses, je dis, mais non. Ça fait partie de ma chaîne, de l'ADN de ma chaîne, c'est le tout premier let's play. C'est le let's play avec lequel on voit le plus l'évolution de ma chaîne finalement. Donc, faut pas oublier d'où l'on vient. Bon, bah sur ce, bref, trêve de bavardage. Merci d'avoir suivi, et puis je vous dis à bientôt sur la chaîne pour d'autres aventures, de nouvelles aventures qui, j'espère, vous plairont autant, si ce n'est plus. Allez, des bisous tout le monde, et puis à bientôt sur la chaîne. Bye.